a goddess that 4 billion men dream of marrying. But I accidentally dragged them to get a marriage certificate after getting drunk. After waking up from drinking, looking at the marriage certificate makes me feel like dying. Because the person I was going to marry turned out to be the neighbor sister who had always bullied me. And she is 8 years older than me. I thought this emotionless marriage would end soon, but I didn't know she had secretly had a crush on me for 13 years. After getting married, she revealed her true self even more. After waking up from drinking, I awkwardly scratched the back of my head. Vefe, did we really get married on the Moonlight Festival? When Yan Ningyu looked strange and nodded slightly, I suddenly felt my face flush. I really got myself into trouble again. I unexpectedly ended up with a nearly 30-year-old prediction. How I feel about it. Although it is often said that a woman 3 years older than a man is like a gold brick. However, Ning Yuexi is 7 or 8 years older than me. Do I really have to hold 2 gold bricks? Moreover, Ning Yuexi is a wealthy heiress with assets worth over 100 million, the goddess in the hearts of countless men in Jiangcheng. No matter how desperate she is, she would never look at herself. I still have this level of self-awareness. Ning Yuexi knew the other person must have many questions to ask her. So I simply spoke up to break the silence. How much do you remember about what happened last night? I'd only remember being at the bar last night. Participated in a beer drinking competition. Then we got excited. Then I didn't remember anything. Ning Yuexi's lips twitched slightly. Yesterday I happened to be there for business as well. When I originally planned to leave, passing through the hall, I saw you alone, completely drunk. I kindly wanted to take you back. You not only danced in the dance floor, shouting about wanting to marry a wife, still holding on to my clothes tightly. Ning Yuexi pointed to her own neck. One area of her fair skin was a bit red. Hearing this, I was eager to know the rest of the story. Then what? Is this the story of mushroom stew with little chicken? Ning Yuexi rolled her eyes. There is no then. After the security guard pulled you away, you have always been shouting that you want to marry the most beautiful woman. No one can stop it. In the end, they forcefully dragged me to the Civil Affairs Bureau. The most beautiful woman. Hearing this, I seemed to recall something. I looked up and down at Ning Yuexi, although I was drinking at the time. But the gaze is indeed still present. I was taken aback and asked casually, "Did you not resist?" Ning Yuexi didn't know why her face suddenly turned red, then pointed to the shoulder. Rebelled. But you crazily tugged at my clothes. You've pulled all the straps apart. I had a bit to drink at that time. My head was a bit fuzzy. There is no security on the taxi again. Sister is a weak woman. How can I compare to you? At this point, Ning Yuexi curled her alluring red lips. A smile flashed secretly in her eyes. My eyelids twitched, feeling a mix of wanting to cry but having no tears. It seems that my image at Ning Yuexi was completely ruined yesterday. I am sorry, Yuexi Jai. It's all my fault. It's me who got drunk and took advantage of you. I'm sorry for what I've done to you. You can hit me or scold me, it's fine. Even you told me about this to Dad. Let him beat me up to vent his anger. Alcohol really is a bad thing. What's the big deal about picking up a wife after drinking too much? Moreover, this wife is the eldest daughter of the Ning family who grew up watching him. Ning Yuexi shrugged her shoulders. A delicate, upturned face revealed a hint of helplessness. Things have already happened. The important thing is the solution. It's your responsibility towards me. Or should I tell your dad to make you responsible for me? Responsible. Does my sister like me? I was taken aback at first, then noticed the laughter in Ning Yuexi's eyes. It was then that I realized Sister Uxie was just joking. Also, on the night of the full moon, there are countless suitors pursuing her. Where do someone like me, need to take responsibility? Uxie, let's get a divorce. I will definitely find a way to compensate you in the future. What happened yesterday was my fault. I can't hold you up. The story isn't finished yet. Ning Yuexi suddenly took a deep breath. Divorce? You want to divorce me. Once these sorrowful lines are spoken, it's my turn to go all out. What else? We don't have any emotional foundation between us. Am I really going to spend my life with you in such a confusing way? Ning Yuexi sighed in frustration. Do you know about divorce now? Is there a 1 month cooling off period? Moreover, after the divorce, sister, I've remarried. Are you saying it's because you have a little girlfriend? Are you afraid that this matter will be discovered? No, no, no. I swallowed a mouthful of saliva. For no other reason. Just because of the woman's sorrowful appearance at this moment. It is truly too charming. My heart goes thump, 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 like a startled deer. Is it because you're afraid that your sister might delay your future in finding a girlfriend? The dream lover of every man in the city is his own wife. What am I even looking for in a girlfriend? It's not either. Ning Yuexi, you have a delicate red lip. Then why are you in such a hurry to divorce me? Sister just happened to pass by yesterday. You dragged me to get the marriage certificate. You've taken all the bargains. You also touched my body. She was even a victim of domestic violence. The newlywed husband lasted less than 24 hours. Are you really going to divorce me? My sister the monkey rolled over unconsciously. Her downcast eyes revealed a sense of disappointment. It looks absolutely stunning. Sister Uxie, could you please not speak so ambiguously? I can be easily misunderstood. But thinking about it, Uxie did have a tough time. She is definitely a proper young lady from the Ning family. The man who wants to marry her can hold her hand and walk around Giant Chen 3 times. If overnight this goddess, who haunts the dreams of countless men, thus I became a second marriage. It really is quite tragic, isn't it? But Uxie Jai, you don't like me either. Are you really going to marry someone you don't like? When Yan Ning Yuzai suddenly fell silent. I don't know what I'm hoping for. My heart inexplicably began to race again. In the next moment, Ning Yuexi bit her red lips in embarrassment. What if that sister says she likes me? As soon as those words were spoken, my mind went blank. What is this? Yuexi Jai said she likes me. I swallowed nervously. Are you serious? Ning Yuexi suddenly burst into laughter. This smile is like 100 flowers blooming. In an instant, it swept away all my thoughts. I'm lying to you, but I think before you find someone you like, we can turn our pretend play into something real. No matter how you say it, getting married is indeed a principle. Even if I were to divorce immediately, there is also a 30-day cooling off period. How about we try spending some time together first? My grandfather has been urging me to get married lately. I'm so annoyed. Just consider it a favor for your sister, okay? A hint of twilight shimmered in Ning Yuexi's eyes. Thoughts kept arising in my mind. Stinky little brother. Sister has been waiting for you for so long. Finally managed to trick them into it. How could I let you escape so easily? Although she thought to herself like this, but she remained calm on the surface. Still find the most enticing red lips. If there's really no feeling later on, let's get divorced in a month. I was taken aback. Real acting. But they also knew they were in the wrong. After all, getting someone married is a big deal. It's all my fault. But Sister Yu, who is 8 years older than me, suddenly turned into a girlfriend. It's difficult to change one's mindset quickly. Suddenly, Ning Yuexi leaned closer towards this side. A fragrant breeze instantly filled the nostrils. I still can't snap back to reality. He was led out the door with a woman holding his arm. Let's put it this way for now. Today, let's go back with my sister to deal with the family first. As I was lost in thought, they soon arrived at the entrance of the Ning family's courtyard. I glanced around at the surroundings and paused. The serious face of Ning Yuexi's old man flashed through my mind. The body involuntarily shrank back. We're meeting the parents so soon? You held my sister when we got our marriage certificate. Why didn't you mention fear? Ning Yuexi found it somewhat amusing. Her red lips unconsciously curved into a graceful arc. It turns out I drank too much yesterday. The fearless youth. There can be a timid side as well. Sister, let's not mention this anymore, okay? Thinking about my crazy behavior last night. I can't help but wish to live on another planet right now. When I reached the door, Ning Yuexi hesitated and stopped in her tracks. She glanced at me with a flushed face. Can we act a bit more intimate? I straightened up. I just realized that I might not have changed my mindset yet. I habitually lag half a step behind Ming Yuexi, like a little tailgater. After all, we are now husband and wife. My grandfather could easily tell it was too unfamiliar. How about we act a bit more intimate? As soon as she finished speaking, Ning Yuexi wrapped her arm around mine without hesitation. The soft moments of the FIFA World Cup thrilled me, accompanied by waves of desire for disintegration. It made me blush with embarrassment. Ning Yuexi's face flashed with a hint of triumph. The little guy said he's not interested in his sister, a tall person, 1.85 meters. At this moment, I inexplicably bent over. It looks extremely funny, like a cooked shrimp. Grandpa, I'm back. Ning Yuexi pulled me into the house. But the villa hall was empty. However, some noise could be heard from the second floor. Heard a noise downstairs. The study door upstairs was suddenly pushed open. The sound of an old man's shout echoed. Do you still have the face to come back? My granddaughter's husband. Didn't you say there was a lead last time? Didn't you say you've had someone you've liked for many years? My granddaughter is so outstanding, how could I not win her over? Ever since you took over the company, Grandpa has had nothing to do. Just waiting for the peace and joy of family life with my granddaughter. So much time has passed. Don't mention the great-granddaughter. I haven't even met my granddaughter's husband. Ning Yuexi, I warn you, if I can't bring back a son-in-law this week, you should not enter this house. Hearing Grandpa Ning's voice, I couldn't help but smile. The old man is still the same as a few years ago, full of energy. Our families had a close relationship in our grandfather's generation. Both old gentlemen are true brothers who once fought on the battlefield together. Even if the Ning family prospers later on, the two families often kept in touch. Until my grandfather passed away, the older generation slowly became distant. Did sister not deceive you? You saved your sister's life. I cast a suspicious glance at Ning Yuexi. Yuexi Jai. What old Master Ning just said. Who is the person you have liked for many years? Ning Yuexi squinted her eyes and smiled. Little thing. You're getting jealous of your sister so quickly. Of course, it's a lie to her. Even if there is. Isn't my current husband you? You have already captured my heart, sister. Is there anything else you're worried about? Stop teasing, stop teasing. Stop teasing me. I can't handle it anymore. I just don't know why in my heart. Still feeling a bit unwell. Ning Yuexi didn't notice this. He just pulled me into the study. Grandpa has brought you back. "Son-in-law, it's time for you to show your face." Hearing the words "son-in-law," the old man suddenly lifted his head as if he had been injected with adrenaline. I feel a bit awkward. I want to hide behind Sister Yuexi. However, Ning Yuexi has a stronger temperament than I do. Nothing else can cover it up. A tall man standing at 1.85 meters. "Come out. Your grandson-in-law is quite interesting. Surprisingly, you're shy now." For a moment I felt like a young maiden. The illusion of meeting the parents for the first time. "Hi. Hello, Grandpa Ning. Long time no see." "Evening, Breeze. How come it's you? Ah, come here quickly and let Grandpa take a look. It's been so long since we've seen our evening Breeze. In the blink of an eye you've grown so tall. The last time we met, you are the same height as your sister. Come here so Grandpa can take a good look at you." Sister is of course referring to Ning Yuexi. After all, both families' elders. Everyone thinks that Ning Yuexi and I get along like siblings. Moreover, the age gap between the two is quite significant. Even the two old gentlemen who have fought on the battlefield together. No one rashly arranged a marriage for us. Who knew a drunken knight would turn a sister into a wife? I feel embarrassed just thinking about it. Then old Master Ning glanced at Ning Yuexi's back a couple of times. No one is left. Where's the promised son-in-law? At that moment he noticed the two people with their arms linked together. Old Master Ning was taken aback and tentatively asked, "Yuexi, you brought back a son-in-law for me. It must be the evening Breeze." "Are you kidding me?" "Yes. The person I've liked for many years is the evening Breeze." Ning Yuexi appeared quite calm. Old Master Ning slammed the table angrily. "Do you think Grandpa is getting senile? You are clearly siblings. When did we get so close? You think I don't go online, grandson? Are you trying to play the same trick as Jushu's cousin on me? No matter how you try to deceive me, you shouldn't have dragged your younger brother in to make up the numbers." I secretly thought to myself, Ning Leiesi, the term filling with bad fish is really unnecessary. I also know the thoughts in old Master Ning's mind. Before today, I said I had no feelings for Ning Yuexi. That's a lie. The mature and stunning Yu Jai is irresistible to any man. Moreover, she is also very talented. Evening Breeze, you should talk nicely with Grandpa. Were you sent over here by your sister to mess with me? I looked at the old gentleman with a pair of sharp, piercing eyes. Those eyes seemed to see through everything. I suddenly felt a bit guilty, suddenly started to retreat. Let's just be honest. At this moment, Ning Yuexi furrowed her willow-like brows, said softly, "Grandpa, I didn't lie to you. We got our marriage certificate yesterday. That's why I brought the evening Breeze to see you today. I'm just worried that Ning won't be able to accept it for a while. So, planning to take the approach of boiling a frog in warm water. Who knows why Ning is in such a hurry?" Old Master Ning's eyes widened instantly. "What is this?" "Obtained the marriage certificate. The two kids even got a certificate. He understands his granddaughter's personality, although sometimes we joke around. But they never speak without thinking. Today you two explain it to me properly. What is the situation?" Ning Yuexi smiled like a flower, a relative of Zhu Chun. "I haven't mentioned it to you before. Actually, all these years I've been secretly in love with the evening Breeze. In my heart, there is no room for any other man but him. So I won't go on a blind date. Although our two families have had less contact in recent years, but I can never forget him. That day, by chance. Let us reveal our true feelings to each other. It turns out I am not the only one in love. My younger brother also likes me. So we got our certificate yesterday. It can be considered a fruitful outcome. Yet I wore a puzzled expression about this matter. Sister, are you serious? Even though it's clearly a lie. But I heard a kind of taste of truth and falsehood. Strange and peculiar. Isn't sister the victim? Why do I suddenly feel this way now? The feeling of the little white rabbit falling into the big bad wolf's trap. Moreover, I've never heard this script before. How do I respond to this? Is everything the evening breeze and the moonlit night sister said true? Rao is the mindset of an old gentleman. It also feels too sudden. The amount of information is indeed substantial. I could only force myself to blurt out a bunch of nonsense. Really, actually, I have always liked Yuexi Jai. From the first time I saw her, I was irresistibly drawn to her. I still remember that moon evening sister had her hair in a ponytail, swinging and lively. It's just that her personality is a bit introverted, always holding a book. I don't know why. I just love her serene demeanor. As soon as these words were spoken, Ning Yuexi's pretty face instantly flushed with a hint of red. A jade-like hand gently cradled a fragrant cheek, the beautiful eyes filled with tenderness. Feeling sweet inside. Continue on the side. Who just said they wanted to divorce me? Ning Yuexi gently pinched my arm, puffed a sound. Hearing my words, old Master Ning let out a hearty laugh. So tell me about these years. You two should have lost contact. How did we come back together? I wiped the cold sweat off my forehead, the eager little eyes looking up at Ning Yuexi. We can only continue to weave the story. It is like this. I used to think that the age difference between us was too great. I'm afraid Yuexi Jai only sees me as a little brother. So I buried my feelings of admiration for Yuexi sister deep in my heart. Then I unexpectedly reunited with sister Yuexi not long ago. I just realized that my sister has always been waiting for me. I was so happy that I confessed my feelings. Then they got together. Finally, we went to the Civil Affairs Bureau to get the marriage certificate. Old Master Ning smacked his lips. So where did you two reunite? Such a meaningful place. Let's just buy it and consider it your wedding gift. After all, a piece of land doesn't cost much. A piece of land doesn't cost much. Is this what a person would say? Goodbye, Grandpa. I shook my head and waved my hand to refuse. The Ning family is wealthy enough to do as they please. Even cleaner than my own face. If I accept the gift from old Master Ning, if I end up divorcing Yuexi Jai in the future, how heartbroken must old Master Ning be? Old Master Qi Ning had a stubborn temper. Saw me unwilling to speak, then went to ask Ning Yuexi. Where did you two reunite? Ning Yuexi and I exchanged a glance. Then they spoke together. Bar school. The two people spoke in different tones. Old Master Ning's originally cheerful expression gradually froze. Then, the next moment, both of them spoke again. School bar. Do we have some kind of understanding? Fortunately, Ning Yuexi reacted quickly. Hi, it's like this, Grandpa. That day, while I was looking for a friend at the university in the evening breeze, I met him. We agreed to go to the bar together in the evening. I see the old man nodded. Ning Yuexi's words are quite reasonable. My granddaughter is really something. The two elders always thought they were siblings. So no one thought in that direction. You two wolves say it early, my concubine. Zhao said he still had to arrange a blind date for Ning Yuexi. The familiar evening breeze is the best choice. The next moment, the old man looked at me and asked, What is the name of your school? Is there a way to contact the principal? The bar was easy to handle. It was bought in no time. However, We still need to find someone to communicate with at the school. A faint bitter smile passed across my face. Please, I beg you, stop flaunting your wealth. I know your family is the top wealthy family in Jiansheng. Of course, I can only think about this in my heart. At that moment, the old man suddenly peeked over mysteriously. Since both of you are married now, so did you two get together? Then the hands crossed and closed together. The 10 fingers moved back and forth. Ning Yuexi and I are not children anymore. The two instantly turned red in the face. I cleared my throat. Can I still run away after doing that kind of thing? Once the news is out, just the suitors of Ning Yuexi are enough for me to fill a pot. Not yet, not yet. Is there something you can't say, Evening Breeze? Grandfather has watched you grow up since you were little. I treat you like my own child. If there's anything inconvenient, just say it directly. Elder Ning's gaze spoke volumes. It directly landed in the place of the gentle evening breeze. I was suddenly filled with a sense of dread. I am very healthy, Grandpa. Old Master Ning finally revealed his true colors. Grandpa smiled and said, "Then you all need to hurry up a bit. My daily life is filled with fearlessness. It would be nice to have a grandson or granddaughter." Noticing old Master Ning's eager gaze, I wish I could find a place to hide in embarrassment. Why does this make it worse? I always have a sense of foreboding. At this moment, Ning Yuexi finally picked up the conversation. What is missing is grandfather. We both want to wait until after the wedding for that. I am fundamentally a very conservative person. You can rest assured. I will definitely make sure you see your great-granddaughter in your lifetime. Old Master Ning suddenly slapped his thigh fiercely. Yes, yes, wedding. Although you two have obtained the marriage certificate. But the parents and relatives from both sides haven't witnessed it yet. When do you plan to hold the wedding? I took a look. This year marks the day I marry Ning Yuexi, all in the second half of the year. Ning Yuexi shook her head. I won't have time in the second half of the year. I might have to go abroad for a business trip. Ah, the old man suddenly had great expectations. Do we really have to wait until next year? Then wouldn't it be the case that I can't hold my great-granddaughter until the year after next? Old Master Ning still wouldn't give up and asked again. When do you have time? Hearing this, Ning Yuexi revealed a row of white teeth. I only have more free time this week. She was thinking to herself, since we already have the certificate, we can't let this little thing run away, can we? Hearing this, old Master Ning was taken aback. He struck the table decisively, sealing the decision. All right, let's do it this week. 3 to 4 days of preparation this week should be enough. I will have the butler notify relatives and friends right away. You two should hurry and pick out wedding dresses and engagement rings in the next couple of days. Grandpa arranged everything for you. Are there any hotel wedding cars or similar services? I'll take full responsibility for everything. You just need to stabilize your relationship. Then just quickly give me a big chubby boy. Until being pulled away from the Ning family by Ning Yuexi. My head is still a bit dizzy. By the time I realized it, Ning Yuexi's car has already stopped at the entrance of a shopping mall. Sister Yuexi, what are we going to do now? Ning Yuexi deftly turned the steering wheel, smoothly reversing the car into the parking space. Then he turned his head and laughed at me. Do I need to say more? It's a wedding dress. My expression stiffened again. Is it an illusion? Why does it seem like Yueli sister is very happy? Some are even a bit impatient. Getting a marriage certificate is indeed my mistake. But now I increasingly feel that I am the one being taken advantage of. Then Ning Yuexi led me to the suit section, smiling brightly. You can pick a few pieces of clothing you like here. I'll come over later to help you figure out what looks best on our little brother. Since you're my husband now, I'm giving you this card. Inside is my dowry. Feel free to take what you want." I instantly felt my face flush. Why do I feel like I'm being supported by a domineering female CEO? However, I still maintained my bottom line and clarity, quickly pushing the card back. "I can't take Sister UXE's money." "Thank you, sister, but I can earn my own money. Moreover, my living expenses are sufficient. I can't accept my sister's money." Hearing this, Ning Yuexi smiled brightly. "Pooh, we are now husband and wife. Why should couples stay so distant from each other? You are my husband. Spending my money is not a given. And who knows, I might go bankrupt one day. Do you still need to take care of me? Just keep this money with you." Ning Yu's red lips curled into a smile. "Anyway, my dowry is yours." After saying this, she elegantly turned her head and walked in another direction. It seems that the wedding dress has really passed away. Then I casually walked around the suit store a couple of times. Under the introduction of the two clerks, I also have 7 or 8 more pieces of clothing in my hand. These are all styles that I feel are quite good. I didn't expect them to dare walk hand in hand on the street today. They truly are a perfect match. Yo, isn't this Fang Zudi? How did we meet here? Lu Chen embraced Lin Zihan as if to assert his claim, gave me a playful smile while squinting. "I feel disgusted and just want to leave here as soon as possible. The 3 of us are college classmates." At that time, Lin Zihan was flirting with Lu Chen all day in the student council. I have reminded you many times. As a result, Lin Zihan has always conspired with her classmates. And they said it was because Lu Chen, the student council president, had taken an interest in me. That's why I keep her by my side. Later, after graduating from university, this woman actually followed Lu Chen into the Lu family's company. It's still a superior subordinate relationship. The 2 of them are always inseparable. Yesterday, I witnessed the 2 of them kissing in the cafe. So yesterday I was overly sad and went to the bar to drown my sorrows. Unexpectedly, enemies cross paths. Today, I accompanied UXE to explain the wedding dress and ran into them again. I frowned. I really got angry today for not checking the old calendar before going out. "What did you say?" Lin Zihan's expression darkened instantly. "Wan Feng. You can't blame Zihan for not being able to hold on to someone. Everyone has the right to aspire to a better life. Moreover, only by being with me can Zihan truly be happy. You might as well just wear these clothes for a bit. Anything here could cost you half your life." Just a reminder, a man without money shouldn't aim for high-end setups. Zihan is not a woman you can control. What does it matter to you whether I buy clothes here? You belong to the zodiac sign of the rat. The noodle soup really has a wide variety. I pursed my lips, continued to select clothes on the shelf, lost in thought. Lin Zihan saw my indifferent expression and couldn't help but feel angry. She, Lin Zihan, was once a prominent figure in the theater, although she actively wanted to break up with Wan Feng. But why does this man show no intention of trying to keep her? Shouldn't she be heartbroken and desperately trying to hold on, then be ruthlessly kicked away by oneself? Lin Zihan pouted and blocked my way. "Don't come to such high-end places in the future. I'll remind you this for the sake of our past acquaintance. That piece of clothing in your hand costs over 80,000. If you're not careful and break it, we won't kindly help you lose money." The 2 shop assistants looked at Lin Zihan and Lu Chen. It's like watching a fool. The key is that these 2 people are still unaware. He is Miss Ning Yuexie's husband. Don't say it's just a few pieces of clothing. This mall belongs to their family." In the end, one of the staff couldn't hold back and said to Lin Zihen, "Mr. Evening Breeze is here for the wedding suit. If the two of you don't buy anything, can we not disturb our guests? If you continue like this, I'm going to call security to maintain order. Pest, a man who can't take out 10,000 yuan from his pocket in the Evening Breeze. What kind of guest are you?" Lin Zihen ruthlessly mocked. "My boyfriend Lu Chen is the supreme black card holder of your store. You should be careful with your words. Careful not to talk too much, or you might lose your job." At that moment, a cold voice suddenly came from nearby. "Security guard, someone is harassing my husband. Just drive them out directly." Ning Yuexi changed into a pure white wedding dress. The design is simple and exquisite, shimmering with both grandeur and elegance. Just a glance reveals its high price. With Ning Yuexi's delicate and stunningly beautiful features, she is simply the white moonlight of every man's dreams. The next moment, Ning Yuexi walked delicately to my side and gently blew a breath. "Does this look good on me, brother?" Once these words were spoken, I suddenly shivered. "Good looks great. The Evening Breeze is your husband." At that moment, not far away on the road, Zheng Zheng interrupted us. Seeing Ning Yuexi, she was also very surprised. She always felt that this woman looked somewhat familiar. As for Lin Zihen, she had already scoffed and sneered dismissively. "You are the Evening Breeze wife. The Evening Breeze is quite brisk. It's been just over 20 hours since we broke up, and you've already found someone else. I wonder why you're not feeling hurt. However, this young lady, I have to say your taste might be a bit lacking. You can even take a liking to a man like Wan Feng, who is unwanted by everyone. What do you see in him?" The next moment, a loud slap echoed throughout the entire suit store. "Just to add another word, I'll have someone throw you out right away." Lin Zihan was stunned by the sudden slap. The moment I saw Ning Yuexi, even she, as a woman herself, felt a pang of jealousy. So beautiful. This woman is truly beautiful. How could such a beautiful woman possibly fall for Wan Feng? After two people break up, people generally hope to see the other side doing worse than themselves. This proves that the decision to break up was the right one. But Ning Yuexi's just standing here. The aura completely suppressed Lin Zihen. No one expected it. Ning Yuexi actually slapped Lin Zihen. The next moment, Lin Zihen's piercing scream echoed throughout the entire suit store. "Lu Chen, someone hit me. Will you do something about it? Why is Lu Chen still in a daze? Give me a break." Lu Chen still hasn't said anything. A pair of security guards quickly surrounded them. Lin Zihen had never seen such a scene before. Suddenly startled, the eyes sparkled with astonishment and uncertainty. The security captain with a fox-like back and bear-like waist stepped forward. "What's going on? Who is causing trouble, Miss Ning?" "My husband and I are picking out clothes here today. There is a woman who has been constantly bothering my husband." "Take them to the police station. Someone is causing trouble and disturbing social order. The last 48 hours. How much loss has it caused to the mall?" Lu Chen showed them your VIP card. At this moment, Lu Chen was also thrown into confusion. "Take out a card and hand it to the security guard. I am indeed your mall's super VIP. Even if this lady has the same status as me, she has no right to interfere with me." Set. The story isn't finished yet. Ning Yuexi directly grabbed the card and broke it in half. "From now on, you are no longer." Lin Zihen couldn't help but stare. "What rights do you have? What qualifications do you have to do this?" Does being beautiful mean you can do whatever you want? I want to sue you. I want to sue you. I want the owner of this mall to block you. That is the supreme black card. I want to get a card. You need to spend over 1 million in this mall. This card is definitely a symbol of status. Lindsay Ann wanted to post on her moments, showing off her socialite status. Tell me, sue me, let the mall owner blacklist me. Listen carefully. This young lady is the wife of Evening Breeze. My name is Ning Yuexi. So now you understand, right? The security took them away. But she is Ning Yuexi, the eldest daughter of the first prestigious family in Giant Sheng. In this moment, Lu Chen and Lin Zihan were struck with shock, their faces filled with disbelief. As the two were dragged away, the suit store returned to come once again. Sister Yuexi, you were so cool just now. I swallowed a mouthful of saliva. I don't know if it's because Ning Yuexi's little hand has been holding onto my arm. Still, because I got rid of those annoying two guys, I can hold my head high. Ning Yuexi pinched my cheek and smiled affectionately. Is that your ex-girlfriend Lin Zihan? It doesn't seem that great, does it? What stage had you two reached before? Can you conveniently tell my sister? I'm very curious. I glanced at Ning Yuexi with some confusion. I don't know how to start. Seeing me not responding for a long time, a hint of loneliness flashed in Ning Yuexi's eyes. The voices began to sound somewhat low. Have you held hands? Have you hugged? Did you kiss? Is that it? I got. What are you talking about? I was taken aback and quickly shook my head. Sister Yuexi, what are you thinking? Lin Zihan has always looked down on me. How is it possible for us to develop further? In 3 years of college, the most I've done is hold hands. As soon as these words were spoken, Ning Yuexi's beautiful eyes became clear once again. The disappointment on his face has long since vanished completely. The next moment, Ning Yuexi whispered softly in my ear, "It has been 3 whole years. Then it won't go bad, right?" I only felt a surge of heat rushing from the soles of my feet straight to the crown of my head. Even the questions I originally held back slipped my mind. Why? Why does Yuexi know so much about men for a girl? I. Sister Yuexi, please be careful. This is a public place. Ning Yuexi also knew that everything had to be done step by step. After all, I had disappeared from her life for 2 or 3 years. Moreover, there was such a significant change in status all of a sudden. It's normal for her to not accept it right away. Take your time. Anyway, I have plenty of time, sister. She smiled charmingly and asked with a playful grin. Then you tell me, do you like your older sister more or Lin Zihan more? Is there any need to ask? It must be Sister Yuexi. But it was the kind of family affection back then. Right now, it feels like being above others but not quite lovers. I can't even guarantee it myself. How long can I hold on facing such a beautiful and talented sister? Ning Yuexi's eyes sparkled with even more delight. It seems they are quite satisfied with this answer. But Sister Yuexi, how do you know about Lin Zihan? How do you know her name is Lin Zihan? I probably haven't told you about my ex-girlfriend. Wen Yan Ning Yu's expression changed suddenly. Oh no, it's going to be revealed. But soon she found another excuse. This. It's because you got drunk yesterday and brought it up at the bar. You kept calling this name when you were drunk. Ah, when I drink too much, I call out to Lin Zihan. But I don't even feel that much love for her. I said with a bitter smile, thinking about what happened last night. That month, Sister Zai. Can we agree on 3 rules? Let's temporarily forget about what happened at the bar yesterday. I have a desire to live on another planet. living on a different planet. That won't do. Sister waited for you for 13 years. Finally looking forward to you growing up. Running is impossible. Ning Yuexi thought to herself. They promised verbally. All right. But don't lie to your sister. Did nothing really happen between you and Lin Zihan? Yesterday you said you two were still living together. I only say these things after I've had too much to drink. I widened my eyes. I swear I'll never drink alcohol again in this lifetime. If I drink again, I might completely run out of my reserves. I let out a long sigh. Sister Yuexi, didn't we agree not to bring it up? Ning Yuexi let out a hum and then pinched me. After all, I am your wife. Is it not okay to be curious about your past? Or are you planning to deceive me? A man who lies is not lovable at all. Ning Yuexi leaned in directly. Only a finger's distance remained between the two. I could even see how many long eyelashes Ning Yuexi had. For a moment, I was so nervous that I forgot to breathe. But she's already my wife. A kiss should be fine, right? Ning Yuexi couldn't help but let out a chuckle. The scent of musk and orchid blows across my face. It made my ears turn completely red. At 2 o'clock, we sleep in separate beds. I usually write books at home. Actually, I really do have an income and can take care of themselves. As the conversation drew to a close, my voice grew softer. Suddenly, I remembered something important. Wait a moment. My computer is still with Lin Zihan. This computer is my breadwinner. Then how about this? Wrap up all the suits you just looked at. Let's go home and try it on. I'll accompany you to get your computer now. When we arrived, Ning Yuexi winked at me. Do you want me to go up with you? My heart began to race uncontrollably again. Said with a blush, No, that's not necessary, sister. I can go by myself. Went upstairs. I stood at the door and pressed the doorbell, but no one answered. Just took out the key to open the door. The apartment door was suddenly pushed open from the inside. Lin Zihan was staring at me coldly with ice packs on her face. Evening, Breeze. Why did you come to find me? I was taken aback. Yuexi Jai is really ruthless. But you played well. The next moment, Lin Zihan's face suddenly flashed with a hint of self-satisfaction. I understand. Did Ning Yuexi kick you out? So you came back to find me. That makes sense. The Ning family is the foremost aristocratic family in Jiangcheng. How could a toad possibly eat swan meat? Who is Yuexi Jai? I don't need you to tell me. I came to get my computer. Step aside. I'll leave after I grab my things. You didn't come to reconcile, did you? Are you still with Ning Yuexi? On what basis? You don't deserve it. I want a computer. With a thud, Lin Zihan slammed the door shut. Since you've already moved out, everything in that room should be disposed of by me. You want a computer, right? Go downstairs and pick it up. The next moment, I heard a loud bang. A heavy gaming laptop shattered on the cement road. I, a towering man at 1.85 meters tall. In a moment of anger, I nearly lost my balance and fell. At that moment, something soft behind me supported me. What did Lin Zihan do? I pointed with a pale face at the computer wreckage on the ground. She broke my computer. Ning Yuexi smiled instead of getting angry. I broke my brother's computer. What level of quality? You dare to break my Ning Yuexi's man's things. Then Ning Yuexi directly picked up the motherboard from the ground. Leave this to me. I'll find someone to definitely help you fix it. You can rest assured about the documents inside. It can definitely be found again. But today she took out her anger on your computer. Sister will definitely help you out. Ning Yuexi knocked heavily on the door after reaching the third floor. Bang, bang, bang. The door is tightly shut and locked. Lin Zihan sneered provocatively in the room. Evening breeze. You have the ability to make your sister use I tidying me up. I'm not going to open the door for you. How can I pass it to you? Ning Yuexi, no matter how powerful she is, can she really kick open this big door? I gritted my teeth. In my opinion, it's impossible to find opportunities today. Lin Zihan, I remembered you today. Don't let me get knocked down again. Sister Yuexi, let's go. After all, Lin Zihan's door was tightly closed. Can the two of us really break into a house 4 times? However, Ning Yuexi let out a cold laugh. Let's go. Why do you want to leave? The person who bullied me. Sister, I won't let her off today. Give me 3 minutes. After saying this, Ning Yuexi walked down the stairs in high heels. They must have gone to the car to get their phone. 3 minutes later, Ning Yuexi led a pair of renovation workers wearing safety helmets upstairs. The hallway was instantly filled with people chattering and laughing. I twitched at the corner of my mouth. Sister Yuexi, what are you going to do? Ning Yuexi's eyes flashed with a hint of pride, pointed at the tightly closed door. Xiu Zhaihu. Demolish. The characters fall apart. Several workers quickly stepped forward to work. They don't care whether Ning Yuexi is the owner of this household or not. Even if it's illegal, it's still taken apart. If it comes to it, they just won't work in this field anymore. Miss Ning has given too much. Does it? The sound of a drill and saw echoed continuously in the hallway. I anxiously watched the scene. Will there be any issues with Yuexi Jai doing it this way? Ning Yuexi pouted her red lips, her smile as bright as a flower. What could possibly happen? Could she really call the police to arrest me? Isn't it natural for a wife to help her husband with troubles? If you have any inconvenient secrets, you can tell your sister. What? Wait, how did this topic get sidetracked again? Sister, this doesn't look like the bus to kindergarten. Open the door and let me down. Ning Yuexi looked at her brother with a light laugh. How about this? What happened that made your sister ask you to take the blame? Ning Yuexi smiled and pinched the young man's cheek. For no other reason. The youth's expression is just too cute right now. The lovable and sweet little brother. Who doesn't want a matching one? And at that moment, the sound of the gate collapsing finally rang out. A cloud of dust rose up. Linksy Hanmu in the room stared blankly outside. I couldn't even speak and burst into a fit of coughing. She never dreamed that. Ning Yuexi really dares to take apart her own door. Ning Yuexi, this is the front door of the house I rented. Are you crazy? You crazy woman. Do you really think having money means you can do whatever you want? You are trespassing in a private residence. I want to sue you. I will call the landlady right now to report it to the police. I demand compensation from you. So what if you are Ning Yuexi? The emperor is subject to the same laws as the common people. Breaking the law. It's simply hilarious. So let me ask you, what law have I broken? Trespassing and damaging someone else's property. Linksy Han still understands some basic legal knowledge. Unfortunately, she still won't be a match for the prepared Ning family young lady. Sorry. From today, this house belongs to me, Ning Yuexi. I love to do whatever I want, even if I break it apart. You won't be able to do anything to me. After saying this, Ning Yuexi pointed at her phone. If you don't believe it, why don't you call the landlord yourself to verify? What is this? Everyone was stunned to hear this. I paused for a moment, and a vague suspicion began to form in my mind. It's estimated that Ning Yuexi displayed her superpower again when she went downstairs just now. then by the ownership of this house. Sister Yuxi's movements are really quick. Linksy Han's complexion grew increasingly pale, facing the wealthy young lady of the Ning family. Linksy Han was completely defeated. "Oh, right. I have already obtained a marriage certificate with Wan Feng. I hope you will harass her less in the future. Otherwise, I might be rude to you." In the next moment, Ning Yuexi said, "The evening breeze is my treasure boy. You lost him, and that's just your own loss. I still need to thank you properly. Your lack of vision allows my wishes to come true. You have 3 hours to move out of this apartment immediately. Otherwise, we'll meet in court. What magic does the evening breeze hold?" Unexpectedly, the eldest daughter of the Ning family is so devoted to him. This made Linksy Han feel like she had truly missed an important opportunity. She couldn't catch her breath, her face flushed with anger. "In the end, I actually fainted. I was taken aback. Sister Yuexi seems to have fainted." "Huh? Heartbroken." Ning Yuexi originally thought the first thing the evening breeze would say was, "Sister, you're so powerful." Sister is mighty and powerful. Who knows this brat actually has the leisure to care about Linksy Han? Ning Yuexi pouted her red lips in annoyance. "Then why not take this opportunity? Make up for the things you two haven't done in the past 3 years." "Sister, I definitely won't tell anyone." "What is this? What have you never done?" I was taken aback at first. Immediately he realized and his old face turned red. "Sister Yuexi, are you angry?" "No. Don't you like to care for her?" "What happened to sister? Why did she suddenly say she was angry?" "Yuexi Jai, don't joke around. I don't like Linksy Han at all now. I just said it casually. Are you feeling jealous?" Ning Yuexi paused. Beautiful big eyes fell on me, neither admitted nor denied. "Then tell me who you like. I'll help you chase after her." I gazed at Shang Ning Yuexi. I answered with a forced attitude, "I like Sister Yuexi." As expected, as soon as those words were spoken, Ning Yuexi's brows and eyes once again formed a charming crescent shape. At that moment, a handsome guy with a buzz cut walked over. "It's a coincidence to see you, Yuexi. When do you have time to come stroll around our jade apartment? If you had told me earlier, I would have made a reservation for us to eat." She was dressed in a suit and polished shoes. It gives off a vibe of an elite white-collar professional. Ning Yuexi merely cast a cold glance at the newcomer. "I came over here for a bit of business." "I'm leaving this time." The man in traditional attire quickly stood in front of Ning Yuexi. "Yuexi, we have at least known each other for many years as old classmates. Even if it's not warm-hearted, there's no need to be so indifferent. Old Master Ning mentioned it before. Let you interact more with young talents of your age. Since we happen to meet today, then let's enjoy a meal together." "What? When I tossed my wife into the air?" Sister Yuexi truly has endless charm. I can't believe I ran into a pursuer in a place like this. The next moment I coughed and said, "I am Ning Yuexi's husband." I know that Sister Yuexi is very exceptional. Being beautiful makes one very attractive. But she's already married now. The man's expression changed. "Got married." Ning Yuexi got married. With a young kid who looked to be barely in his 20s. How is this possible? "Yuexi, are you testing me? How could you suddenly get married? How come I didn't know you were getting married? You must be testing me, right? Do you know my feelings for you? The old man has high hopes for our families. Your intentions are nonsense. Still testing you. Our sister Yuexi is bored and has nothing to do. What is the purpose of testing you?" I don't know why a nameless anger suddenly surged up from within me. You don't have to bring up old Master Ning either. I just left the Ning family this morning. Yuexi and I are legally married. Our relationship is protected by law. Your identity is that of a citizen. One should abide by the law. Stealing someone else's wife is such a thing. I don't think they can do it. Sir, if there's nothing else, we will be leaving now. In the future, don't casually invite someone else's wife to dinner. This time, I'll take it that you didn't know and won't blame you. Let me see you next time. Consequences are your own to bear. In an instant, Ning Yuexi felt a little more secure in her heart. At this moment, Ning Yuexi insisted on pulling me to try on the wedding dress she just bought. But I didn't know she was playing tricks. Taking advantage of the gap in my clothes, Ning Yuexi picked up the phone and made a call. Butler, move everything from the place where the evening breeze lives to my house. The woman smiled slyly, like a cunning little fox that has succeeded in its scheme. I quickly changed my clothes and walked out of the room. It is said that a suit is a man's armor. People rely on their clothing, horses rely on their saddles. In an instant, my entire demeanor improved significantly. Ning Yuexi nodded in satisfaction. Our younger brother really looks handsome in whatever he wears. Let's do it this way. I'll change into a wedding dress too. Let's look at each other in the mirror. After Ning Yuexi entered the room, just a few minutes passed. The voice echoed from the room. Younger brother, come in and help me. There's a sister with a zipper in the back that I can't reach. Entered the room, seeing the woman in the snow-white wedding dress again. Ming had already seen him once in the morning. But it's still hard not to be amazed by Ning Yuexi's stunning beauty. So beautiful. Ning Yuexi is truly beautiful. See my reaction at this moment. A hint of smudness flashed in the woman's eyes. What are you staring at, idiot? Hurry up and come help. Do you want to exhaust me to death? I cough once. No, mainly my sister is too beautiful. I was momentarily stunned. While zipping up the zipper, the hand inevitably brushed against Ning Yuexi's smooth back. I immediately shivered with a chill, even if it's just a slight touch of the hand. I couldn't hold back and scrolled a bit. No wonder she is the dream lover of 20 million men. Although my self-talk is very quiet, but Ning Yuexi still heard it. She turned her head and smiled at me. Let me interview our little brother, Evening Breeze. What does it feel like to marry 20 million men? Because of this sentence, I have a bright and elegant expression. Stepped on Ning Yuexi's wedding dress train. In an instant, I lost my balance and fell while holding onto Ning Yuexi. Then, at this moment, the two became completely intimate with each other. I am half a head taller than Ning Yuexi. The lips gently rest on the woman's forehead. I stared at those lips, red as wine. I unexpectedly felt an urge to kiss for the first time. But fortunately, I am still rational enough. The moment Ning Yuexi was kissed on the forehead by the man, there is also a feeling like being electrocuted. Mousie briefly showed a hint of panic. Get up quickly. Ning Yuexi had more than a dozen suitcases. Butler Xiaojai placed the last box down. Only by nurturing the mind can it explode with ideas. Miss, I have moved all of the gentlemen's luggage over. I completely lost control of my emotional management. What is this? These boxes contain all my belongings. When was my house robbed? Ning Yuexi winked at Xiaojai. He can leave now that he has amnesia. This butler is really full of himself. Who asked him to meddle? Why didn't you consult me about it? Just bring all my things over. Wen Yan, Ning Yuzai said angrily. Exactly, exactly. Even if you go back and cook tonight, probably no toiletries either. Moreover, moving things back and fourth is quite a hassle. It's already this late. Sister, I'll move it back for you again. You finished tidying up and it was already past midnight. It can really cause trouble for people. I'll call him over to ask what's going on. I was instantly stunned. Forget it, Uxie Jai. Actually, it's not his fault. After all, he had good intentions. Do you have any other vacant rooms here? I can sleep in the study at night if you want. Hearing this, Ning Uxie watched as her scheme finally succeeded. A hint of a smile also crossed the face. Today I sleep in the study, tomorrow I will sleep in the next room. The day after tomorrow we'll be sharing the same bed. Sure. I nodded dumbly. Oh, good. After finishing speaking, Ning Uxie took 2 boxes and headed towards the bedroom. I stared at her silhouette. It always feels like something is off. It seems like Uxie Jai is heading towards her own bedroom. So I hurried over to get my suitcase back. That Mosai sister. I guess I should put my things in the study. Ning Uxie said with a smile. But only my bedroom has a cabinet. You can't just throw away your personal clothes carelessly. That's so dirty and unhygienic. Then she opened the cabinet by herself. This area is for placing the equipment. This area is designated for storing the Eastern goods. I don't know if it was intentional or not. Ning Uxie intentionally skimmed past a large drawer in the middle. So I instinctively pointed to the drawer. Sister Uxie, what is in this drawer? This. Ning Uxie dragged a long row. With a wicked smile, he directly pulled open the drawer. You can see for yourself. The next moment, I only felt a surge of heat rising from the soles of my feet to the crown of my head. So shocking, so stunning, especially when I imagined the scene of it being worn by Sister Uxie. I nearly escaped from the bedroom. Sister Uxie, I'm going to wash my face to calm down. I lay in bed tossing and turning, unable to fall asleep. Various chaotic images dart around in my mind. At that moment, the phone suddenly rang. Are you asleep? A message from a friend without any notes. Who are you? Before the 3 words could be sent, it was too late. The other party sent another message. I see you are typing over there. You must still be awake. I miss you. I thought to myself, it can't be another girl who has a crush on me, right? So I replied decisively, I'm sorry, I'm married. Then I took out the marriage certificate and took a photo to send over. A minute later, someone suddenly knocked on the door. I haven't reacted yet. Ning Uxie pushed open the door. Is it hard to maintain? Well, but little one, shouldn't you explain? Why didn't you leave a note for your sister? In the end, she personally saved her phone number and notes from me. Just let me go. Just got up in the morning. My friend Heroine called me. Will become the dream of 20 million men. I can't believe you managed to win her over like this. What kind of love potion did you give the goddess? Could it be the plot of a TV drama? What strange illness did the goddess contract? I need a son-in-law to come and wash. So the Ning family reluctantly found you. This narration isn't easy at all. As your brother, let me give you a piece of advice. Let Ning Xianzi go and let me come. Let me bear the pain of being scorned for you. All right, stop the act. Uxie Jai was taken to the Civil Affairs Bureau to get the certificate after I got drunk. This matter is my fault. Naturally, I should be responsible for her. Do you have time this afternoon? If you have any questions, let's talk when we meet. A few sentences can't possibly clarify the whole story. I have only one brother, Lai Heowen, in Jiangcheng. At the wedding, it's very likely that Lai Heowen is still his best man. If you don't satisfy his curiosity, This kid might end up quitting after all. In the restaurant around 2 in the afternoon, Lai Heowen exclaimed excitedly, "Goodness, the rich woman is surprisingly by your side. The rich woman turns out to be your wife. Quickly tell me how you two got together. Thinking about the awkward things that happened in the bar gives me a headache." But still I gritted my teeth and recounted everything. He told Lai Heowen everything about the cause, process, and outcome. After a good half-time, Lai Heowen stared at me fiercely. "So it is said. You got drunk at the bar. Shen forcefully dragged Ning Song to go get the marriage certificate. And the most absurd thing is, Ning Song surprisingly showed no signs of resistance at all." I let out a bitter laugh. "Sister Yuexi is worried that I'll get drunk and ruin her looks. So she could only honestly let me take her to the Civil Affairs Bureau." Upon hearing this, Lai Heowen immediately blurted out, "Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Although I haven't been in many relationships. But some basic common sense is still clear. I estimate that Mr. Nain should not have been forced to obtain the marriage certificate. It might have been premeditated." My head shook like a wave drum. "Impossible. Absolutely impossible," Lai Heowen said with disappointment. "You really don't know, or are you just pretending not to know? Your family's Yuexi is still a famous black belt in judo. Is there no way to deal with a drunk man?" I cough once. "It's also possible that Sister Yuexi is afraid I'll get drunk and act crazy." Lai Heowen let out a cold laugh. "The distinguished young lady of the Ning family would be afraid of a drunken man behaving wildly. As you said, even in the taxi, Ning Yuexi couldn't find the security guard. There's no way to call the police. Did you get out of the taxi at the Civil Affairs Bureau? Can't she find any help at the Civil Affairs Bureau? A place like the Civil Affairs Bureau. Just shout out loud. Immediately, 7 or 8 strong men could jump out and pull you away. Moreover, Ning Yuexi was able to establish herself in the ruthless business circle at such a young age. A woman with such deep schemes. I will be fooled by a freshly graduated college student like you." Then she went crazy talking. "I tell you, I want to outsmart Mr. Ning. There is only one situation, unless Lai Heowen meaningfully took off a long coat." Hearing this, my heart began to race a little. Hastily urged, "Unless something happens. Unless she really wants to marry you." I didn't know any of this. At that moment, I felt as if I had been struck by lightning. Lai Heowen's analysis seems to make perfect sense. There's absolutely nothing wrong logically. Could it be that Sister Yuexi really likes me? At that moment, Lai Heowen leaned closer to me, lowering his voice. "But you are going to have bad luck afterwards. I heard that Ning Zong never smiles or jokes. She has a cold demeanor towards everyone." I was taken aback again. That's not right. Although Sister Yuexi seems a bit aloof in front of outsiders, but from childhood to adulthood, always presenting a gentle demeanor to oneself, especially after the series of events that happened yesterday. Just thinking about this makes my ears burn. Is she really that unapproachable? At that moment, Ning Yuexi suddenly called me, said they would come to pick me up. Hearing that the goddess is coming over, Lai Heowen, who had been eavesdropping nearby, was so excited that he was waving his hands and dancing around. "Crazy, give me a hint. Let her come, let her come. Then you come. I am with my friends." "Oh, right, sister. I must remind you that they are same-sex friends." Half an hour later, a crisp voice suddenly sounded from behind. "What are you talking about?" Hearing Sister Yuexi's voice, I suddenly turned my head in joy, because I am sitting on the chair. Ning Yuexi was bending down, standing behind me. The height of the two people's heads was almost level. In the moment of turning my head, Ning Yuixi's red lips just happened to press against mine, although it's just a point. But Ning Yuixi was like a startled little deer, quickly retreating. In an instant, in my mind, only that divine face and softness remain close at hand. When did you arrive, Jai Yuixi? Ning Yuixi pouted her red lips. She looked at me, both embarrassed and angry. I just wanted to surprise you a little. How can you take advantage of your sister like this? This is great. Sister lost her first kiss. How can you expect me to remarry? The shy couple kissed just 2 days after getting married. Although it was due to an accident, what made her angry was that it was her first kiss, which she had kept for 27 years. Even if I always planned to leave it to this little guy, it shouldn't be given away so casually. There's not a bit of ceremony. Hearing this, I was taken aback. Once the first kiss is lost, a second marriage is impossible. What kind of logic is this? I opened my mouth. Then why not find someone who doesn't mind that you've kissed other men? Ning Yuixi fiercely pinched me. What are you talking about? My mom said, kinking will make your child pregnant. How can my sister get married to someone else while she's pregnant? I stared wide-eyed. Sister Yuixi is, after all, an educated adult woman. How could anyone not know these? Kinking could never get pregnant. Isn't that what parents do to comfort their children? Casually exchanging pleasantries with heroine, Ning Yuixi took me home. Ning Yuixi placed her hands on the steering wheel. I had my secretary send someone to fix your computer's motherboard. They guaranteed that they could fix it 100%. Really? I widened my eyes in surprise. You need to know how badly the computer was damaged. I don't have much hope for the documents inside. I didn't expect Jai Yuixi to find someone to perfectly restore it. Thank you, Sister Yuixi. Ning Yuixi noticed Yan Qing's red lips twitch slightly. Since it is gratitude, shouldn't we use a nicer name? A more pleasant way to address someone? Then I tentatively said, Thank you, beautiful lady. Ning Yuixi was expressionless. Thank you, fairy sister. Ning Yuixi still hasn't replied. I scratched the back of my head and suddenly had a flash of inspiration. Thank you, my dear wife. You're welcome, my dear. Ning Yuixi's eyes curved into crescent moons as she sweetly responded. That voice paired with that angelic face. No matter how you look at it, she doesn't seem like a silly older sister. It feels more like a season of blooming that retraces to the age of 18. I had just finished my shower and was about to return to the study to sleep, but was stopped by Ning Yuixi. Wait a moment. Let me fall asleep before you leave. I might have had too much coffee in the afternoon and now I'm a bit sleepless. In the end, I could only obediently sit by the bed. My gaze happened to notice 3 little minions on the windowsill. My heart stirred. Sister Yuixi, I actually have a question to ask you. Ning Yuixi lifted her eyes. What problem? I take a deep breath, gazing intently at the woman without yielding an inch. Sister Yuixi, your phone wallpaper has those 3 little yellow characters. Is it what I gave you? Ning Yuixi was momentarily taken aback. So sudden. As she discovered it so soon? But in the next moment, she quickly looked towards the little minion on the windowsill. What are you talking about? Little brother? What little yellow man? A moment of disappointment flashed through my heart. Sister Yuixi, you forgot. In my junior year of college, I won 3 minion prizes with heroine at the mall. We just happened to run into each other. I found the prize too cumbersome, so I gave it to you. Aren't your phone wallpaper and these 3 little yellow characters? Wang Yan Ning Yuzai pretended to ponder with her chin held high for a moment. Is that true? But sister forgot. My little minion doll was a gift from the movies. Haven't we not been in touch for many years? Did you see me 2 years ago? I looked slightly stiff and awkward. I just feel like I'm being overly sentimental. Does Liang Jiangru give me courage? I can't believe that 20 million men would doubt that their first love secretly loves me. Ning Yuexi, however, smirked mischievously and wouldn't let it go. Little brother, you don't think I have a crush on you, do you? My little secret was uncovered, and my face turned completely red. Sister, I'm a bit tired. Go rest now, and you should sleep early too. After I finished speaking, I rushed out of the bedroom. Ning Yuexi smiled brightly in the room. When I was just asked by the little one, my heart is starting to race. Fortunately, the little guy is quite easy to handle. Otherwise, where would I put my sister's face? In front of my 7-year younger brother. I have been in unrequited love with her for 13 years. Ning Yuexi, who values her pride, would never let herself be at a disadvantage like this. At the very least, wait until the evening breeze has completely fallen in love with itself. Tell her the truth again. After all, men won't cherish what comes too easily. The next morning I arrived at the mall. I am going to alter Sister Yuexi's wedding dress style. Arrived at the doorway of the previous suit store. I coughed at the clerk. Hello, I am the one who bought the wedding dress earlier. The female shop assistant was startled when she saw me. You are Ning's husband. The young master has arrived. Quickly notify the men's clothing section of the mall to clear out. The last time at the suit store was a bad experience for the young master. Today, the men's clothing section has closed for business. Reopen after the young master leaves. As soon as these words were spoken, numerous shops around also began to hang up. Today, the sign for closing and suspending business. No, no, no. Just operate normally. Besides, I'm not here to buy clothes. I would like to make a few adjustments to Sister Yuexi's wedding dress. Hearing this, the female clerk nodded in understanding. Since I've said this much, she naturally couldn't force it. At that moment, a stubborn voice fell into my ears. Choose whatever you like. You usually don't get the chance to come to such upscale places. But this is run by my sister-in-law. Just treat it like your own home. A flamboyantly dressed young man appeared. A group of 3 or 4 young girls walked over this way. She was surrounded by flowers, like a star among the moon. It is not difficult to see from the man's face. She seemed to really enjoy that feeling. I glanced and then quickly looked away, quietly waiting for the wedding dress to be ready. But after just 2 or 3 minutes, suddenly a fierce argument broke out next door. Did I give you face? I said to put it on my account. My sister-in-law will take care of it for me. You don't want to continue working at this mall, do you? Dare to defy my wishes? The waitress's trembling voice slowly emerged. Chen Shaolin's friends were holding things that were truly too valuable, especially this eternal heart. This is the treasure of our store, worth 1 million. And last time you mentioned credit. Mr. Ning said to ignore you. How about I give Ning a call? The story isn't finished yet. Suddenly, a slap echoed. The cool sound rose by several decibels again. Ning Yuexi is the daughter-in-law that my Chen family has chosen. Sooner or later, she will be my brother's woman. Her belongings are the Chen family's belongings. Do you dare to disrespect Chen Kaikshuan? At that moment, the manager of the jewelry store smiled and took the employee away. Chen Shao is like this. Today, Ning's husband is also at the mall. Why don't you discuss it with him? As long as young Master Evening Breeze agrees. You can take these jewels home today. Chen Kaixuan was clearly taken aback. Young master of the evening breeze, clearly they have never heard the news that Ning Yuexi is married. The next moment he was furious. Are you messing with me? In Giant Cheng, who dares to compete with my brother for a woman, had the guts to call him out to meet me. Everyone is provoking like this. If I endure any longer, I'll become a ninja, regardless of whether my feelings for Sister Yuexi are clear. But for now, the two are in a solid marital relationship. I stood up and walked over. I'm the evening breeze. He is also Ning Yuexi's husband. At that moment, a young girl behind Chen Kaixuan said playfully, Kaixuan-ji, did someone take a liking to that jewel? I want to. Upon hearing this, Chen Kaixuan let out a wicked laugh. Don't worry. As long as it's what you like. Brother has taken care of everything for you. Where did you jump out from, kid? When did Ning Yuexi become your wife? Haven't you heard of the name of our Chen family's twin heroes? Competing with my brother Chen Kai for women. Have you thought about the consequences? Sorry, I've really never heard of the Chen family's twin heroes. If you want something from the jewelry store, just swipe your card to pay. If you want to keep accounts, write an IOU. In the 21st century, robbery is against the law. Upon hearing this, countless onlooking staff members applauded in their hearts. The onlookers couldn't help but laugh out loud. They had long been displeased with the arrogant Chen Kaixuan. As I watched, my face remained calm. Chen Kaixuan, as a wealthy second-generation heir, has a certain level of cunning. Squinting, I asked a few more questions. You are a descendant of a prominent family in Jiangcheng. But you are a descendant of a certain family from Huaxia. Not really. You are a hidden elite on the Huaxia rich list. Not at all. Chen Kaixuan was completely furious. Do you know what the relationship between my brother and Ning Yuexi is? Dare to wade through this murky water. I shook my head, still clueless. I don't know. To be honest, I really don't know. I haven't been in contact with Sister Yuexi for a few years. Matters of the upper class. Where would an ordinary person pay attention? They figured out my background. Chen Kaixuan felt completely at ease. Ning Yuexi is engaged to my brother through a family alliance. Two elite families join forces. You know nothing. Dare to meddle in others' affairs here. As soon as the voice fell, the girls behind him also spoke up with their heads held high and flared nostrils. These days, everyone and their dog seemed to be around. Ning Zong casually tossed a piece of bone. Treat him like a tail-wagging dog. He considers himself the master of the Ning family. Kaixuan-ji, hurry up and grab the jewelry. We need to go. I have plans to meet a friend for afternoon tea later. I already said it's fine. Today, I will take you to deliver my jewelry. You won't go back on your word, will you? Chen Kaixuan smiled proudly. Of course not. Did you hear that, waiter? Quickly pack my things up for me. Young master, evening breeze, what do you think we should do? The owner of the jewelry store is also unsure. They could only smile wryly at me. Just call the police. Regardless of what relationship Moon Zai and your brother will have in the future. But now she is my wife, since she had instructed before. So what about the items at the jewelry store today? You can't take anything without paying. Chen Kaixuan's triumphant expression instantly froze. If this matter escalates to the police station, it must be a loss for oneself. Chen Kaixuan gritted his teeth. Kid, I've remembered you. Wait for you. Wait for my brother to come back and deal with you. After speaking, Chen Kaixuan pouted and walked in another direction, still cursing under their breath. I'll call my brother right now. The true face of his fiancée. What business, goddess? It seems like we've all become public buses. Upon hearing this, my expression darkened. Stop. Chen Kaixuan paused and asked with a cold smile, "Why are you having second thoughts? Are you afraid my brother will take revenge on you? I'll tell you later. You're late, kid. You will definitely be in trouble when my brother comes back. It's late. Sorry. Today you are late. I only said the jewelry you can't take away. I didn't say the woman could leave. Go call security to control these troublemakers." Chen Kaichuan's companions, a few young girls, turned pale in shock, faces filled with astonishment and uncertainty. "What's going on with Kaichuan? What are you going to do?" Kaichuan Ji is the second son of the Chen family in Jiangcheng. Chen Kaichuan casually reassured, "Just gritting your teeth and staring at me intensely. Wait for my brother to come back. I must make sure he rewards you well, Yuexi. Give me a break. I also want my brother to record a video and post it online. Let everyone—" Wait, I haven't finished speaking. I suddenly appeared in front of Chen Kaichuan. A slap fell. I almost knocked out 3 of Chen Kaichuan's teeth. "You dare to hit me?" Chen Kaichuan covered his face in shock. "You insult my wife like this and then scold me. This is already considered mild. You've gotten into trouble. Chen Sheiyajin is not someone you can provoke." "Exactly, exactly. Do you dare to hit Chen Shao? Even Ning Zong can't protect you." They were all filled with righteous indignation. Today, the jewelry hasn't arrived, and I ended up losing face. Nature looks at me with disdain. Chen Kaichuan gritted his teeth and looked at me. "I just said a couple of words about Ning Yuexi, and you couldn't handle it. I will tell you, no matter how furious you are, the outcome won't change. My brother will reward Ning Yuexi. The slap you gave me today. Tomorrow everything will return to Ning Yuexi. I will definitely invite you to observe properly then." I felt a lump in my chest. Eyes slightly squinted, gliding through a dangerous arc. He went up and grabbed Chen Kaichuan by the neck. It's like shooting arrows from both sides. Suddenly, a series of crackling sounds erupted. Asterisk smack asterisk. You're acting tough here when you should be apologizing. And without proper upbringing, one does not know how to respect others. Asterisk sound of a slap asterisk. How can someone who doesn't spend money on shopping still call themselves a rich young master? Ban. Don't understand the law. I don't know if my marital relationship with Ning Yuexi is legally protected. And have you ever respected the law? Have you ever respected someone else's husband? A few slaps fell down. Chen Kaichuan became a complete fool. Fear flickered in his eyes. I didn't expect this reckless youth to be unafraid of threats. "How dare you continue to make a move?" Chen Kaichuan staggered backward, stepping back. Almost sat down on the ground. Pointing at my mouth, they murmured, "Crazy. Ning Yuexi's dog went crazy. Today, I won't let Ning Yuexi apologize to me. I will never give up. I want to see if Ning Yuexi will protect you." Din 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 din. At that moment, the sound of high heels clicking sharply against the ground echoed. The tall, slender figure radiated an icy chill with a powerful aura. Suddenly appeared right in front of me. Without any hesitation, asterisk slap asterisk. The woman raised her jade hand and brought it down with a slap. "What do you think you are? You also have the right to make Ning Yuexi apologize. Dare to threaten my man again? Hehe. You have the ability to go to war with the Ning family. When everyone is in trouble, no one can escape." Ning Yuexi slowly turned her head and looked at me with concern. "Is my younger brother okay? Next time, don't use your hands on such a reckless beast. The action of force is mutual. if your hand starts to ache. Sister, I will also feel heartache, you know. Finished speaking. Ning Yuexi even took the initiative to grab my hand and give it a gentle rub. This ambiguous little gesture emerges. I suddenly felt my face flush with embarrassment. There are still people watching around. Actually, Ning Yuexi arrived a few minutes ago, but at that time she had just entered the mall. I decided to take a stroll on the second floor first. Today happens to be Ning Yuexi's regular inspection of the mall's operations, although it has been less than 2 hours since I parted with Wan Feng. But Ning Yuexi felt in her heart, surprisingly, there wasn't even a hint of emptiness. She misses that shy little guy a bit. I didn't expect to just arrive on the first floor. I saw Chen Kaichuan standing in front of Wan Feng, speaking nonsense without restraint. Ning Yuexi initially wanted to step forward immediately. Wan Feng unexpectedly stepped forward. She simply stood not far away and chose to observe the changes. She also wants to take a look. Facing the arrogant Chen Kaichuan, how will Wan Feng handle it? It is clear from the woman's expression at this moment. She was very pleased with Wan Feng's actions. What do you mean, Ning Yuexi? Chen Kaichuan no longer had his earlier arrogance. If her brother were standing here, perhaps I could communicate with Ning Yuexi on equal terms. I have made my meaning very clear. Wan Feng slapped you a few times because you insulted her husband. It's only natural to hate you. I am here because you insulted my husband. Hitting you is just as justified. If you plan to confront Wan Feng head-on, then let's just have a little encounter between our two families. Let's see if the Chen family has this kind of strength. After saying this, Ning Yuexi linked her arm with mine. A seductive smile emerged, captivating and irresistible. But I can guarantee you will definitely be the first casualty in the conflict that arises in the middle of the home. Hearing this, Chen Kaichuan broke out in a cold sweat. He's just making empty threats. A group of 20 has no right to represent the Chen family. He never even dreamed that. Wan Feng is unexpectedly so important in Ning Yuexi's heart. Ning Yuexi said nothing more. You are looking for a man behind my brother's back. You definitely violated the original contract. Ning Yuexi raised an eyebrow, non-committal. Engagement. Your father mentioned something to my grandfather. Not a single stroke has been written. It all becomes so quick when it reaches your mouth. I, Ning Yuexi, have joined the Chen family. I'll count to 3 seconds. If you don't want to see the Ning and Chen families go to war, soon to disappear from my sight. In the end, Chen Kaichuan could no longer bear to stay. Jingjai turned her head and walked towards the mall entrance. As a farce comes to an end, Ning Yuexi patted her jade-like hand. All right. Everyone has had enough of the excitement. Now let me formally introduce my husband, Ning family's little uncle. As long as young Master Wan Feng is present in the future, you don't need to report anything back to me. Just go find young Master Wan Feng directly. The decision of the evening breeze is my decision. I was taken aback and kept waving my hands. Don't, sister. I don't understand anything. How am I qualified to make decisions for you? What if something goes wrong? Ning Yuexi smiled, her eyes sparkling softly. You performed really well just now. I was momentarily stunned. Just come back to your senses. Suddenly, a memory floated back to my mind. What Chen Kaichuan once said. Although I don't think Sister Yuexi really has a crush on me. But I heard that Ning Yuexi has another engagement. Yet my heart is filled with deep discomfort. The crowd gradually dispersed. The mall has once again returned to its usual tranquility. Ning Yuexi glanced at me with her beautiful eyes. I found a frown on my face. What's wrong, little brother? Still thinking about the earlier incident with Chen Kaikchuan. I bit my lip and couldn't help but ask. Sister Yuexi, you and Chen Kaikchuan's elder brother, will I get married in the future? Marry Chen Kaich. Ning Yuexi furrowed her brows. Immediately realized. So it turns out the little one is feeling jealous. He bit his lip and smiled. Do you want your sister to marry someone else? Of course, I don't want that. I almost blurted it out. But in the end, I could only dare to think about it silently in my heart. If it weren't for this misunderstanding in obtaining the certificate, isn't Sister Yuexi just going to follow the routine? Continue living her life as a female CEO? Yeah, definitely. The lives of the two people had no focus at all. I won't appear in her life either. Then wait until the age is right. Sister Yuexi will most likely find someone. The families of equal status have united in marriage, just like the Chen family. Her fiancé, even if it's not Chen Kaiji, kissing another man with those thin, beautiful lips. Thinking of this, my chest feels tight. Ning Yuexi seemed to see through my thoughts. The exquisite face leaned in. Don't worry. Sister won't marry anyone else. Aren't we getting along well? Sister doesn't want a second marriage. Politeness hits like a gentle breeze. My cheeks suddenly turned red. After speaking, Ning Yuexi reached out and patted my head. Moreover, Chen Kaikchuan's words are basically all nonsense. Chen Fu mentioned the idea of a marriage alliance to my grandfather, but Grandpa did not agree. However, Chen Kaikchuan knew afterwards. All day long, I keep saying I'm his sister-in-law, still using this matter as a bargaining chip. Often come to the mall to eat and drink for free. Later, I found out about this matter. Just ordered the people below not to give Chen family any face. Make him pay. I didn't expect this kid to still dare to cause trouble at the mall today. After saying this, Ning Yuexi's beautiful eyes flashed with a cold light. The man who bullies Ning Yuexi. You really think I'm an easy target? Hearing this, my face turned red. So that's how it is. So, does this mean that Sister Yuexi doesn't have any so-called engagement at all? My mood suddenly lifted a lot. By the way, Sister Yuexi, my parents should be back tomorrow, since we have already obtained the marriage certificate. Hearing this, Ning Yuexi's enticing red lips curled into a tempting smile. Chua, he indeed has some other matters to attend to. Today, in addition to the routine inspection at the mall, Ning Yuexi booked a tea room on the third floor of her family's shopping mall. A few friends need to meet to explain this sudden wedding. After parting ways, I just continued sitting in the wedding dress shop chair playing on my phone. But the way those store clerks looked at me. In addition to the previous respect, now there's a bit more kindness. I suppose it's because I just stood up for my boss. Ning Yuexi just arrived at the third floor tea room. The light from the tea room fell directly on me. The three in front of us are Miss Wu Jia, Princess of the Song Clan Brigade, Gen family freight heiress. They are among the few who know Ning Yuexi well. Friends who can play together in the circle. Oh, our bride has arrived. As soon as the teasing words were spoken, the three women burst into laughter. Ning Yuexi cast an annoyed glance at her three best friends. Why do you have the time to come here and question me about my troubles today? Wu Jia has returned from abroad. I haven't stayed at home for more than 24 hours, right? If old Master Wu knew you sneaked out again, I have to go complain to my grandfather again. Wu Jia shot a resentful glance at Ning Yuexi. If you don't pay attention again, who will inherit Wu Jia's vast fortune in the future? Wu Jia was slightly intimidated by indifference. Leave it for Wu Jia's future son-in-law. You know who the person I like is. Unfortunately, the divine power is one-sided, yet the king is gone. At this point, Wu Jia sighed pitifully. Princess Song Yuan of the Song clan, come on, you. Among us people, it seems like none of the relationships are going smoothly. Who hasn't had a secret crush for many years? After saying this, the three sisters all looked at Ning Yuexi. Who is Ning Yuexi's crush? They don't know either, because Sister Ning Yu really disguised herself too well. She hardly ever gets drunk. Even if I'm drunk, it also rarely exposes any secrets. They will know that Ning Yuexi shares the same fate. It was still because Ning Yuexi was once overly heartbroken, crying like a pear blossom after getting drunk. Then the little mouth muttered, "Did you know that I have liked someone for 13 years?" At that moment, the three sisters were all shocked to hear this. It turns out their president, Ning Dao, also has someone he loves but cannot have. Song Yu smiled. Look at everyone, it's Yu Zai. When the time comes, find someone to marry. Let go of love that cannot be obtained. At that time, she was drunk and kept insisting she would only marry a certain someone. In the end, I still want to let it go. Mr. Ning is so outstanding. Still the dream of 20 million men in Jiangchen. Not everyone hangs from the same tree. Her 13 years of secret crush came to an end just like that. So as friends, Wu Jiabei, you should try to get along with other boys. Wu Jiabei sighed deeply. Sisters seem to have their own hopeless romance. At that moment, Ning Yuexi suddenly raised her teacup and took a sip. Song Yu, please don't take me as a negative example. Who is Ning Yuexi? A promise is a promise. If I can't marry the person I love, I would rather live a lonely life. So I'm sorry to disappoint you all. Upon hearing this, the three women were all taken aback. What does it mean? Yuexi, are you saying that the person you chose for marriage? It's the one you mentioned. The man who loved her for 13 years. The last of the three girls, Zheng Yang, who had remained silent, finally reacted. Wait, this script seems a bit off. Did Ning Yuexi save the galaxy in her past life? Why be foolish? What's the point? Wu Jiabei was staring intently at Ning Yuexi. So it's true. The person you are marrying is that man. Ning Yuexi pursed her red lips in silence. But in this appearance, for the three sisters who understood her temperament, it is almost equivalent to having already assumed it. Song Yu even forgot to drink tea. There is a saying that goes, when heaven closes a door for you, it will open a window for you. But Ning Yuexi was born with the door open. Heaven often secretly opens windows for her. What kind of thing is this? Wen Yan Ning Yuzai once again sipped a cup of tea. Aren't you going to say more? I am, after all, the dream of 20 million men in Jiangchen. Are you really that lacking in confidence about my charm? This time, the other three sisters were directly shown up by Ning Yuexi. You can just be sweet with us. Now it's actually being packed up. Please, can you just be a person? Zheng Yang was stood up precisely at the right moment. I can't stay here any longer. I don't want to say a single word to Ning Yuexi right now. I want to go home and find my mom. At that moment, Ning Yuexi received a voice message on her phone. She forgot to turn off the speakerphone and just opened it directly. The wedding dress from my sister is ready. Why don't you come down and try it on? The young man's voice slowly emerged. The air in the room froze once again. Wu Jiabei sent Zheng Yang with 3 daughters, all wide-eyed. Wu Jiabei glanced at Ning Yuexi. Wow, Ning Yuexi, you're quite the player. Both elder sister and younger brother have been called. But your boyfriend's voice is quite nice. Such a compassionate voice. When you usually hold him in your arms, isn't it enjoyable? The young and strong younger brother, the mature and beautiful sister you. Tess, tess, tess. The speed suddenly surged past 120. Wu Jiabe pouted. Woo woo, wait until I have a boyfriend. I want him to call me sister too. Wenny and Ningyu's red lips curled into an enchanting smile. After we finish, don't look for me after 9 in the evening. I will not participate in any activities, because I need to go home to be with my husband at next week's wedding. You all remember to come as bridesmaids. My wedding dress is ready. You can go down first. Jane Yonghua opened his mouth. So you're leaving? Do you still remember that guy from the Chen family, Yuixi? That guy seems to be coming back next week. I remember he made a harsh remark at a banquet back then. He vowed to marry you. That Chen Kaiji is really a madman. Be careful, he might cause trouble for your younger brother. Ning Yuixi paused her steps. A delicate, pointed face brushed past, slightly cold. Chen Kaiji, I had already clearly rejected him. Who he likes is his freedom. Similarly, who I like is my freedom. If he is unwilling to maintain the dignity of an adult, play with me in the shadows. Then I, Ning Yuixi, am no pushover either. After finishing, Ning Yuixi stood up and walked outside. In the tea house, Wu Jiabe and Song Yuliang both glared at Zheng Rong. Lao San always brings up the wrong topic. Who would pour cold water like this right before someone's wedding? Wu Jiabe pressed her red lips together. Forget it. It's good to remind Yuixi as well. At least the tragedy that once happened to me. We shouldn't let her go through that again. Wu Jiabe let out a soft, bitter laugh. She is actually the most unfortunate among the 4 sisters. She liked a man for 7 or 8 years. That person almost occupied her entire youth. Finally, after much effort, we confirmed our relationship. The man just agreed to be with her. As a result, they encountered a car accident and died on the spot. I sat in the wedding dress shop and finished the video, seeing that Ning Yuixi did not reply to him. Just sit quietly in the chair and wait for sister to finish. Just then, Lai Heowen made a call. What? Your brother's Memorial Day is approaching. Yeah, time really flies. I can't believe it's already been a year since my older brother passed away. Lai Heowen's voice on the phone was filled with deep emotion. I didn't feel any pressure when he was around. It seems that no matter what I do, my big brother is always there to support me from behind. Now truly sitting in the position of the elder brother. Only now do I realize how much trouble my actions caused my older brother back then. But he has never complained. Lai Heowen's gentle voice finished speaking. He adjusted his emotions. If you have time, let's go see my older brother together the day after tomorrow. I nodded. Lai Heowen is the only close friend he has in Jian Cheng. All right, see you the day after tomorrow. Sister Yuixi has arrived. Lai Heowen, I won't talk to you for now. I hung up the phone right after I finished speaking. The woman approaching revealed a smile. Sister Yuixi, you're here. Ning Yuixi nodded gently. The wedding dress has been altered. Yes, I had the designer make some changes. You definitely look better in it now. Ning Yuixi couldn't help but sigh that the little man was quite thoughtful. Do you know how to modify a wedding dress to make it look beautiful? But upon further reflection, the little guy majored in fashion design at university. He can easily design clothes now. It seems that these attempts are quite normal. In the next moment, Ning Yuixi leaned in with a playful smile. My leg just brushed against my knee. I suddenly felt a wave of dryness in my mouth and throat. Sister Yuixi, stop messing around. It will be seen by everyone in public." Ning Yuexi licked her red lips, suddenly sat down next to me. I don't know if it was intentional or not. A half of a beautiful leg was directly resting on my leg. "So what you mean is it okay if no one sees it at home?" At that moment, suddenly, a hurried figure rushed into the bridal shop. "President Ning, President Ning. The senior management of Kide Culture is looking for you regarding something." The employee hadn't finished speaking yet. I felt a chill coming from the top of my head. The woman sitting on the sofa in the distance had her beautiful eyes gleaming coldly. A sincere smile conceals anger. It seems there is dissatisfaction with someone spoiling the mood. Ning Yuexi lightly pointed to the door outside. "Go out." I quickly took her gentle little hand. "Sister Yuexi, if you have something to do, go ahead and take care of it. After all, it is important." Ning Yuexi pouted her red lips in displeasure. Teasing the little husband at my sister's place is the real deal. Seeing each other again made them both feel shy. Ning Yuexi finally felt satisfied as she pinched her husband's soft cheeks. "Then I'll take my leave. Be good and wash up clean, then wait for sister at home." Sister Ning Yuexi had just finished altering the wedding dress when I walked out of the mall. Suddenly, a gasp of surprise echoed. "Grandpa, what's wrong?" "Grandpa, don't scare me." An old man was lying on the ground. A young girl in her early 20s beside me looked anxious. After a moment of hesitation, I hurriedly ran over there. "What happened?" The girl looked up at me with a pitiful gaze. "My grandfather collapsed." The girl was almost going crazy. A fair face was filled with panic. Still murmuring to oneself, "Grandpa, don't scare me." "Wanner was wrong. Wanner will no longer hold a grudge against you. Grandpa, please wake up, okay? Wanner will be obedient and well behaved." Seeing this, I gritted my teeth. An old man helps a fainted sparrow. "All right, stop crying. If you don't want anything to happen to your grandfather, just help me lift the old man onto my back." I shouted loudly at them. The girl was startled. Realizing it, I didn't even have time to wipe my tears. Hastily helping the elderly and me into the shopping mall, the previous security captain happened to notice the commotion. Seeing my appearance, they were immediately taken aback. "What happened to young Master Evening Breeze?" "An elderly man fainted. Hurry and call an ambulance. By the way, I'll make an announcement. Is there anyone in the mall right now who has learned first aid?" "Kikai." Just then, the old man suddenly coughed twice. A waxy yellow face with a purple hue. Mechanical asphyxia. My grandfather used to be a military doctor in the army, so my medical knowledge has to surpass that of most ordinary people. There's no time left. The golden time for first aid in mechanical asphyxiation is only 4 to 6 minutes. If you miss this time, it can cause irreversible damage to people. At worst, it's meningitis. I gritted my teeth and couldn't afford to rest. I wrapped my arms around the old man from behind again, gently lifting the frail body of the elder to begin the treatment. "What are you doing?" The girl stared in shock at the scene. I gritted my teeth and forced out a sound, shouting the urgent rescue method. "Haven't you been to college?" After that, I no longer paid any attention to the girl, until the security guard shouted that the doctor had arrived. I have no money, and my hair is completely soaked with sweat. The person who just arrived happens to be the jewelry store owner. "Young Master Evening Breeze, I am studying medicine. Before opening the shop, I also worked at the People's Hospital. What is the situation with the patient?" I gasped for breath. "Unclear, but the symptoms look very much like mechanical asphyxiation." The jewelry store owner was taken aback. Not daring to delay, I quickly crouched down to start the rescue. About 3 or 4 minutes later, the ambulance arrived. Watching the ambulance drive away, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. Onlookers learned the full story from the security guard. Everyone praises me for my beauty and kind heart. I awkwardly scratched the back of my head. It's not for show. Just saw the old man faint. Without a second thought, I rushed out. On the other side is the People's Hospital. After more than 3 hours of rescue efforts, the elderly man who was brought over at noon has awakened. "How is your grandfather?" "He's all right, right." The jewelry store owner sits outside the emergency room. Seeing the girl approaching, I quickly asked. The girl's eyes turned red again, tears welling up in the eyes. A word of gratitude. "Thanks to your first aid measures, sir. Otherwise, even if it's delivered on time." They also missed the golden time for rescue. "What is this?" I should thank young Master Evening Breeze even more. He put in a lot of effort in this matter. Young Master of the Evening Breeze. I remember that young figure. The girl wiped away her tears. "Do you know him?" "I want to wait until Grandpa gets better to thank him in person." The girl pulled out a business card. The jewelry store owner had no choice but to accept it. "Okay. Next time I see Master Wanfang, I'll pass on the message to him." He glanced at the name on the business card. "Unfortunately, it's late. Why does this seem so familiar?" The next morning. I have finished washing up, but Ning Yuexi hasn't gotten up yet. It seems I got home very late last night. "Brother, my stockings are torn. Please get me a new pair." At that moment, Ning Yuexi's voice slowly came from the room. Upon hearing this, my expression changed. "Is Sister Yulan mistaken? You want to make me excited early in the morning." The young lady couldn't help but cover her mouth and laugh. I glanced shyly toward the bedroom. "Here it comes." After I finished speaking, I took something from the drawer in the living room. I found a brand new pair of black stockings and walked towards the bedroom. Arrived at the bedroom door. As I hesitated about whether to go in, Ning Yuexi urged again in the room. "Hurry up." With a determined heart, I pushed the door open. "If I don't enter hell, who will? It would be better if we just pretended we didn't see anything." "Sister Yuexi, your stockings." "Thank you, brother. Why don't you help me put it on as well?" Ning Yuexi let out a sweet laugh. A fair little calf peeked out from under the blanket. I unconsciously rolled my Adam's apple again. "Hi, Yueshi, stop messing around. I'm going to eat first. Put down the stockings." I walked towards the outside, but in that moment of pushing the door open, I suddenly caught a whiff of a faint smell of alcohol. "Did Sister Yuexi drink last night?" "Who are you with?" Suddenly an uncomfortable feeling flashed through my heart. His own wife stays out drinking, although the two received their marriage certificate by a twist of fate. After all, I am still Yuexi's husband. I bit my lip, feeling a bit conflicted. In the end, they turned around and asked, "That month, Sister Zai, did you drink last night?" At that moment, I thought Ning Yuexi had left. I have already crawled out from under the blanket. Seeing this scene, I was suddenly stunned. Ning Yuexi raised her eyes. Her beautiful eyes just happened to meet mine in the air. The sun was fierce. The atmosphere suddenly became a bit tense. I turned my head and wanted to run. Ning Yuexi snorted. "Little rascal, stop. I just want to leave after watching. Where can you find something so good? Come here." After finishing, Ning Yuexi added another sentence. "Walk towards me with your back turned. Don't look around. Otherwise, Sister will get angry." My body is stiff. Stumbling backward, he retreated 2 meters. Stopped in my tracks. I stumbled over my words to explain. Sister Yuixi, I didn't mean to do it. Moreover, the house is too dark since the lights are off. Actually, I didn't see anything clearly. Although it was just a fleeting moment, I just turned my head. Qi Ningyu had long captured the youth's gaze. Are you still trying to play games with me? Ning Yuexi let out a hum of displeasure, not saying anything. I can only hear sounds coming from behind me, the sound of rustling clothes. By the time Ning Yuexi was dressed and ready, she then took a glance at the young man's back. When it's time to listen, you don't listen. Listening when one should not. I will punish you. After I finished speaking, I only felt a fragrant breeze rising from behind me. A pair of hands slowly wrapped around my neck from behind. Ning Yuexi parted her red lips. Bitten directly on my shoulder. She didn't tighten up this time. After all, I have maintained my purity for 29 years. Has never been seen by the opposite sex. Today, the little one actually missed it. This reminded Ning Yuexi of her lost and unclear first kiss. The day before yesterday at the restaurant, I intended to give her a surprise. Who knows why she suddenly turned her head the moment the two kissed. Ning Yuexi painfully lost her first kiss. The hand reaches like jade, preserving a first kiss for over 20 years. I actually wanted to leave this for this little guy. But losing it was a bit too careless, wasn't it? At that time, there was an outsider named heroine present. Ning Yuexi didn't cause me any trouble. But today I just saw everything. It brought back memories for Ning Yuexi from that day. She seemed to be venting her frustrations. The teeth pressed slightly again. I cried out in pain. But Ning Yuexi did not let it slide this time. After a good half-time, Ning Yuexi had just loosened her cherry-like lips. Let's see if you dare to look around carelessly again. I want to cry but have no tears. It slips out instinctively. Sister Yuexi is so beautiful, it's not my fault. Even if there is a next time. My mind is shouting not to look. My eyes won't listen to me either. What did you say? Ning Yuexi was taken aback, realized I said the wrong thing. A fine sheen of sweat formed on my forehead. Forget it, I forgive you. Ning Yuexi's beautiful eyes revealed a hint of a barely perceptible smile. He remained composed on the surface, humming a few notes. Hurry up and eat. What time is your flight, uncle and aunt? If I delay picking up my parents-in-law, I will tell them about the good deeds you did. I let out a frustrated sigh. Time slips away. What hurts your stamina? I glared. Listen to the vicious words you just said. Allow. You misunderstood. We don't have it. I understand. I won't go out and speak carelessly. Xiaojai revealed a bright smile. She chuckled a couple of times and then went into the kitchen. Finished breakfast. My sister Yuexi and I rushed to Jiancheng Airport as soon as possible. Uncle Wan and Auntie have a flight at 10:30. I estimate it's about time now. Which exit are they at? Ning Yuexi is wearing a casual outfit today. Appears young and energetic. Her hair was tied up in a high ponytail with a leather ribbon. The ponytail swayed back and forth behind her head. There is a unique vibrancy to youth. If I don't say it. Does everyone still think the woman next to me is only in her early 18s? A pure-hearted high school girl. At that moment, I saw two familiar figures. They were a middle-aged couple who looked to be in their early 30s. Ning Yuexi immediately noticed the two. She chuckled lightly and quickly walked over in that direction. Uncle Wan and Aunt ran. The man paused as he saw a young girl walking towards him. Mother Wan is quite quick to react. Isn't this Xiaojai? It's been 2 years since I last saw you. How is your grandfather's health? Thank you, Aunt Ran. Grandpa is in good health, and I often think of you all." After saying this, Wan Fu slowly came back to her senses and exclaimed in surprise, "It's Xiao Zai. Why do you have time today? Hurry and come pick up your brother at the airport. I remember after you inherited the family business. It seems like everyone is always extremely busy on weekdays." Hearing this, Wan's mother was taken aback for a moment. Ning Yuexi came to pick up the plane with her son. She looked towards the distance behind Ning Yuexi. Sure enough, I caught my son scratching the back of his head and grinning foolishly at me. Evening Mother's pupils tightened. At first, seeing Ning Yuexi, I thought it was just a coincidence. But the more I thought about it, the more something felt off. Don't mention it, uncle. Every time I go back home, the old folks urge me to get married. I wasn't very busy before, mainly afraid of my grandpa nagging me, so I didn't go home." Ning Yuexi smiled, immediately took the luggage from Wanfu's hands. "I'll come, uncle." "No, no, how can this work? How can uncle and aunt make you a girl help us carry the luggage?" Motherland hurriedly stopped. He shouted at his son, who was standing foolishly not far away. "What are you still standing there for? Do you really expect your sister to get things for us? Can you bear to let a girl exert herself with such a heavy burden?" I just coughed once. He steeled himself and walked up to his parents. A wave of anxiety swept through my mind, filled with countless thoughts. I bit my lip and said reluctantly, "Actually, she is no longer my sister." "What?" Dad frowned. "What are you talking about, you little brat? What is not a sister anymore? Xiao Zai has watched you grow up. By reason, you should be considered my elder. Isn't it your sister or your younger sister? How can you be so rude to your sister?" I coughed once. Because Ning Yuexi was blushing with a proud expression amidst her parents' surprise. "Hold my hand with our fingers intertwined, never to part. Uncle, let me speak. Because we have registered our marriage. Now it is the wife of the evening breeze. She is also your Wan family's daughter-in-law." What? The two elders looked as if they had been struck by lightning. The next moment Dad asked earnestly, "What benefits did the evening breeze bring you, daughter? Do you really need to debase yourself like this?" I thought my parents would be very angry about my impulsive marriage with Ning Yuexi. They were unexpectedly so happy that they couldn't stop smiling. "Just don't say anything. Let's go ask for the old man's blessing now." Arrived at the Ning family old residence. Old Master Ning had been waiting for a long time. After a round of pleasantries, Dad finally spoke up. Speaking of the two children, "I feel a bit sorry for you, old man. What merits and abilities does the evening breeze in our home possess? He actually married your family's Yuexi. I am so anxious right now, fearing that Ning wouldn't agree to this marriage. If Ning doesn't agree, I am here today to admit my wrongdoing. If you agree, I came today to propose." Then Dad and Mom followed Elder Ning into the study. Only I and Ning Yuexi face each other. "Sister Yuexi, let's turn this act into reality. Isn't it a bit too real? Proposing means that both families have fully approved of the marriage. If it were a play that turned real, this feels a bit too formal. What's wrong? Are you already fed up with your sister so soon?" My plum hasn't had a chance to speak out yet. Ning Yuexi gave a sly smile and pinched my arm. "But now that you want to back out, there's no chance left. After all, we are living together now. Xiao Jai can definitely serve as the eyewitness." I felt a change in my expression. I can't help but feel that there is a hint of conspiracy in what Sister Yuexi just said. After 3 rounds of wine and 5 flavors of dishes, Old Master Ning pulled my dad, blushing as they reminisced about the past. If I had known back then, I should have arranged a betrothal with your father. The two kids share a close friendship like that of wolves. Why should I try to match UXC with someone else? The old man overestimated Fang Mo from our family. This kid is slow to catch on. If we arrange a childhood betrothal, maybe your UXE won't even like this brat. Do you remember the first time the evening breeze came to your home? If only UXE had known at that time that she would marry this little brat in the future. Definitely won't be happy. I lifted my head. He looked at the elders with confusion. To be honest, I have long forgotten the things that happened in my childhood. Ning Yuexi suddenly cleared her throat with two soft coughs. The moment she moved, several elders also revealed meaningful smiles. Seeing them like this made me even more curious. Sister Yuexi, the first time I came to your house, did something special happen? Ning Yuexi remained silent and continued eating. Mom smiled slightly and said, "You little rascal, it's your first time visiting someone else's home." But it turned out to be quite a joke. Do you really want to know? At that moment, Ning Yuexi leaned close to my ear and whispered, "I suggest it's best if you don't know. Otherwise, let's not mention this matter. Sister, I'm easily provoked enough to give you a beating. Hit me." "So you're saying the trouble I caused is related to Sister Yuexi? What exactly is going on?" My job-seeking desire was suddenly sparked by several people. "That time you came to Ningyu's house. We are all chatting in the living room. I see you're bored being alone. Let's have the nanny take you for a stroll in the yard. Who knows, once you leave the adult's sight, then I completely let myself go. The nanny can't keep an eye on you, kid. You disappeared as soon as you went to the restroom. We heard the report. Everyone is also starting to move and search for your trace. Finally, I ran into you in your sister Yuxi's room. I swallowed a mouthful of saliva. I used to sneak into your child's room when I was young. But somehow I always feel that what Mom is about to say is the key." "Then what?" "I'm looking straight at my mom." Ning Yuexi bit her red lips. A hand pinched me under the dining table. "You insist on asking despite being told not to. And what else could follow? Everyone saw you letting the water flow, while shouting, 'Don't die, miss.' Watch me reflect on myself. What is this? This is what I did. How could I do something so important?" Several elders were already laughing uproariously. "Is that sleeping girl you?" "Nonsense. I already said I found you in my bedroom. Can there be anyone else in my room?" Ning Yuexi's face was flushed with anger. "Mom explained it for me. I don't know where the evening breeze heard the saying that a boy's urine can save a life. She thought that Yuexi, who was asleep, was on the verge of death. So then, I. Several elders began to cough. Both Ning Yuexi and I have flushed faces. Sister Yuexi asked a side question. "You probably didn't have the habit of sleeping with your mouth open when you were a child, right?" I don't know if it's a short circuit in my brain or what. Suddenly a thought flashed through my mind, and I asked without thinking. The next moment, the dining hall was deathly silent. Evening breeze, not bringing Ning Yuexi out of her dazed expression. Dad angrily picked up the wooden board. "Today, I won't let you know why the flowers are so red. I will take your surname." About half an hour later, I bitterly hide behind Ning Yuexi. She shot me a glare. "I'll deal with you when I get back." Old Master Ning walked over with a hearty laugh. "All right, Zio Wan. The evening breeze is still just a child. Don't be so calculating with the child. Come play chess with me, old man." Wen Yin's dad finally fell off the stool. In an instant, The essence of the mask-changing art was fully unleashed. A gentle smile on his face. "Ninki is an old rider. I haven't played chess in a long time. The old man can shout at me." The two elders walked towards the center of the courtyard. Seeing this, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. As long as I don't get hit. Survived today's calamity. Dad didn't have a chance to settle the score for now. After all, I've been living at Ning Uxi's house lately. Suddenly feel like living with Sister Uxi. There are also benefits, you know. At this moment, suddenly a figure appeared outside the villa's yard. "Has Grandpa Uxi left? Didn't they say today is Muxi Jai's wedding partner? Will you come over to my house as a guest? Let me see my brother-in-law." Her petite figure probably reaches up to my shoulders. Kaio Lion and Ning Uxi have a similar atmosphere. However, the features should appear softer. Doesn't have the cold elegance of Ning Uxi, with twin ponytails. Wearing a white pleated skirt, like a little princess who stepped out of a comic. Your brother-in-law and sister are in the living room. You go find them to play with. Don't bother me. I didn't see Grandpa. I'm busy right now." Ningxi let out a dissatisfied hum. I glanced again at my grandfather's opponent sitting across the chessboard. I was surprised to see Uncle Wan, whom I hadn't seen in many years. Ningxi greeted. "Uncle Wan, it's been a long time. You look even more handsome." "Shiyu, it has indeed been a few years since we last met. I didn't expect Shiyu to have grown into such a graceful young lady." Ning Shiyu does not disturb Grandpa. Again, deliberately entangling with Wanfu here. "Uncle, may I ask you? You quietly told me. Who is my brother-in-law?" Wen Yanwen's face flashed with a hint of embarrassment. "Speaking of the Ning family, those of the same generation as Wan Feng. It should be this little girl in front of me. Ning Yatu has been the little princess adored by everyone since she was young." Wanfu had indeed thought about the little girl. The Ning family's relationships are complicated. In the end, I gave up the idea of arranging a betrothal for Wan Feng. Annoying, isn't it? Don't disturb me while I'm playing chess with Uncle Wan. Your brother-in-law is your Uncle Wan's son, Wan Feng. The person is inside. Go find them to play." Ning Xiu pouted and muttered something. "Who are you trying to fool?" "Hu and Feng. Wan Feng and Yu Zaijai are from different worlds. I guess it's definitely the family marriage you arranged for Uxi, right?" After saying this, she stepped into the living room. Arrived in the living room, Ming Xiu saw Ning Uxi and me standing side by side. Doubtfully turned right in the house. In the end, the little girl just couldn't hold back. "Uxi, where's my brother-in-law? You have to pull it out for me to see." Ning Xiu greeted her sister with a playful smile. Ning Uxi lightly raised and lowered her eyebrows at me. "Right here." "Sister, what joke are you making?" "How my grandpa teases me." "You're teasing me too, huh?" Ning Xiu rolled her eyes. "Still don't believe Grandpa and my sister's words." Ming Uxi couldn't be bothered with her sister. He greeted me and then went to water the flowers in the backyard. Ning Xiu is relentless. Seeing my sister ignoring me, came running over to cling to me. "Why Wan Feng's brother? Who exactly is my brother-in-law?" The eyes are far away, yet close at hand. Silent glance back. "Your brother-in-law is at the Lantern South Mountain. Why do you think it wouldn't be me?" Ning Xiu rolled her eyes even harder. "My sister would never like someone like Wan Feng Ji, even if it is a marriage alliance. Wan Feng, don't you think it should be me according to age? Moreover, my sister is fearless. I believe that even if it's a marriage alliance, she won't be allowed to marry someone she doesn't like. Unless she nods. Otherwise, she definitely wouldn't get married." Ning Xiu pondered with her chin in hand. So her husband must be someone more capable and stronger than her. Wan Feng Ji, take a look at yourself. Where is the connection with the word strong and powerful? I was left speechless. Speaking of the relationship between Ning Xiu and Ning Yuexi, it is also worth mentioning. Ning Xiu is actually not Ning Yuexi's biological sister, or it could be said that she was not born of Ning Mu. Actually, neither of them has the time to take care of the young Ning Yuexi. This led to Ning Yuexi's introverted and withdrawn personality in childhood. Fortunately, the grandfather still has his beloved granddaughter in his heart. Raise Ning Yuexi. Ning Xiu smiled at me. Wan Fengji, hurry up and speak. Who exactly is my sister's husband? Looking at her, she just refuses to believe. I helplessly took out the marriage certificate. Take a good look. Is that your sister up there? Ning Xiu quickly opened the red booklet. He was completely stunned after just one look at her. The two people in the photo have bright smiles. The person standing next to Ning Yuexi is indeed me. You really married my sister. Why, you could say that you like my sister. After all, Yuexi is loved by everyone, like flowers blooming in spring. A man has almost no resistance. But my sister will definitely marry someone she loves. How could she possibly like you? Hearing this, I felt a flicker of anger rise within me. How could Sister Yuexi possibly not like me? Can't we just like each other? Is it for love that you are getting married? Love is a joke. Ningxi shook her head wildly. I wouldn't believe it even if you killed me. In Ningxi's impression, Feng Mo is at home with his sister. We hardly exchanged a few words. They will become a couple. I never anticipated this at all. Feng Mo didn't know why he was getting angrier and angrier, shouting at the top of one's lungs. What do you mean? What's wrong with me? I tell you, starting today, I am your brother-in-law. Even though we share the same blanket, you should also respect me. You little trickster. Where did I go wrong? Ning Shiyu is not afraid of Fang Mo. Her delicate face, even if I am angry, they don't bring much deterrence to people. Where is it like Sister Ning Yulan? Just a glare at you. They can scare themselves into behaving immediately. This made her feel even more certain in her heart. The two of them are simply mismatched. But if Ning Shiyu had to pick a reason, it seems like I can't find anything particularly suitable again. She thought for a moment. Fang Moji,